There's a moment in Revenge of the Sith that I think perfectly highlights what the prequel Star Wars films are all about.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
That line encompasses everything that the prequels were trying to show us. How a democratic, good society eventually declines into fascism, and how a good man falls into evil. That can only happen with an endless desire for power's sake, manipulation, and the support of those who are blinded by charisma. Yet, this Senate scene also showcases one of the major problems with the prequels: detachment. You see, this moment, this thunderous applause, is being done in a room full of senators, those least likely to feel the direct, harmful effects of their decision to cede power to fascism. And that detachment ran all through the prequels. From its endless green screens making us feel unable to directly put ourselves in the world, to the more wooden dialogue and acting making it hard to empathize with these characters.
I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough and irritating.
To a story that really felt like it was more mired in senators and trade federations than trying to be something that we could ever really relate to on a personal level. Now, this isn't bashing the prequels, there's literally all of YouTube for that. And as I said, I think the desire to explore the rise of fascism on both a micro and macro scale is probably the strongest concept in the Star Wars franchise, even if it wasn't executed perfectly. Forgive me for that. Gotta do my Emperor voice. Execute Order 66.
Execute Order 66.
His voice is just too much fun. No, for today's May the 4th Star Wars Day, I wanted to briefly talk about how the final storyline of the show Star Wars The Clone Wars, the Siege of Mandalore storyline, which has already shown its first 3 episodes and the 4th and final episode of which will air today when this video goes up, actually takes the idea of the prequels and fully fleshes them out, and shows Star Wars at its absolute best. For me, easily the most interesting parts of Star Wars are not the gigantic space opera storylines, but when it takes those giant, larger-than-life battles and makes them felt on the smallest of scales. From The Phantom Menace showing us the lives of slaves on Tatooine, a slavery that is allowed to exist because it's economically convenient to the Republic, to A New Hope showing a small farm boy who wishes he could move beyond his simple life in a galaxy defined by endless war, to Return of the Jedi taking a moment to see a small Ewok grieving for his friend in the midst of a battle, to The Force Awakens showing Jakku's economy of exploited poverty built on scavenging the ruins of a long ago battle, to the rise of Skywalker's, I don't know, billion Star Destroyers?
The might of the final order will soon be ready.
Best to leave that movie out of this conversation, I guess. And that's where The Siege of Mandalore actually greatly succeeds, where Revenge of the Sith, with its focus on the giant battles, chancellors, senators, and the Skywalker family, failed, showing us how the large-scale fall into fascism affects those at the very bottom. Now, I'm not going to do a full plot summary of these episodes because they're so insanely good you just need to watch them. But the episodes, which occur concurrently with the events of the Revenge of the Sith, focus on 3 major characters: the former Jedi Ahsoka, the former Sith apprentice Darth Maul, and Rex, a clone trooper who has grown into his own full personality and is defined by his fierce loyalty to his fellow troopers and, more interestingly, the Jedi he serves alongside. In the storyline, Ahsoka is asked back into the Clone Wars by her friend and mentor Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker after she left the Jedi Order and decided to stop fighting in the Clone Wars earlier in the show. They asked her to do this to help the Republic retake Mandalore from Darth Maul, who took that planet over several seasons ago. Despite having been betrayed by the Jedi Council, Ahsoka begrudgingly agrees to help, eventually leading her to a confrontation with Darth Maul. Now, what I want to say right up front is what's most notable in these episodes is the endless sense of dread. I mean, listen to the music alone. We, as the viewers, know that elsewhere in the galaxy, at this exact moment, the Republic is making its final steps towards becoming the Galactic Empire. While those political events are far, far away, they are still felt in every moment of these scenes, coloring every decision Ahsoka makes, even if she is unaware of them. Ahsoka is fighting a battle for a government that soon will betray her and the entire galaxy. Her coming back to the fold just at this moment endangers her even more and is actually helping secure the power of a galactic fascist. Yet, it's at this point that the episode becomes the most interesting, when Ahsoka first confronts Darth Maul. Because despite being a former Sith and a former Jedi, they actually have a ton in common. Ahsoka was betrayed by the Jedi Council because the Jedi Council could not admit that it was doing something wrong. Darth Maul was left for dead by his master and then later was almost murdered by him and had his brother killed in front of him by the man who was supposed to be his teacher and mentor. Both Ahsoka and Maul should be opposites, completely on different ends of the scale, yet have been betrayed by the very system, values, and leaders that they initially chose to uphold.
We were both tools for greater powers.
This right here just shows how these big, large-scale conflicts end up pitting people against each other when really they have much more in common than they do against each other. These are two lost souls who would do better to work together to survive the oncoming storm, as Maul clearly states and argues.
Time of the Jedi has passed. They cannot defeat Sidious. But together, you and I can.
And here's the amazing thing, Ahsoka almost agrees. She almost sides with Maul, working with him.
I will help you.
But at the last moment, she can't, because she can't believe that her former mentor and master, Anakin Skywalker, would betray his values.
What do you want with Anakin Skywalker?
He is the key to everything.
To bring balance to the Force?
To destroy.
You lie.
Despite herself being betrayed by those very values of the Jedi, she still holds on to the belief that there are those who are incorruptible, unassailable, good to their core. It's this very same belief, the belief that there is goodness beyond reproach, that is what blinds her, and it's what blinds the Jedi Council, and it's what eventually blinds the Republic. Ahsoka, the Jedi, and the Republic all believe that good will prevail, that they are stalwarts of virtue, and thus they become stagnant. As they say, it's easy to be a saint in paradise, and that mentality allows for the truth to come crashing down around them. They are not saints, and this is not a paradise. And so, the huge, large-scale battle is brought down to Ahsoka's level. She doesn't side with Maul because she believes in the good. And here's the thing, this isn't the wrong choice. Maul is a horrific person. Yet they are both fighting a battle that cares nothing for them in the end. We see this in the very next episode of this storyline, when Rex is finally given Order 66, to turn on the Jedi and kill them all.
Execute Order 66.
Yes, Lord Sidious.
Both Ahsoka and Maul are seen as indistinguishable under this order, both worthy of death, regardless of whether they were a Sith or a Jedi. And Rex, a man who has been defined by nothing more than his loyalty to his fellow soldiers and fellow Jedi, is forced to turn on his friend Ahsoka against his will and try to kill her. This is what it means when I talk about Star Wars at its best. These episodes show us how large-scale geopolitical conflicts affect the day-to-day lives of individuals. Maul, Ahsoka, and Rex are turned against each other, playing out the will of those above them that just see them as chess moves on a chessboard. When all three of them, Maul, Ahsoka, and Rex, have so much more in common than they do against each other. But they can't side with each other because they are just pawns and therefore their lives are just pieces on a board. So basically what I'm saying is, workers of the world unite, solidarity, stand together! Yeah, every Star Wars video I do is going to be about Marxist propaganda and class distinction. No, but seriously, there's so much more to the Siege of Mandalore that I wish I could talk about, such as it having one of the best lightsaber battles in all of Star Wars. But I just wanted to tell you why I think that these episodes are some of the best, if not the best, that Star Wars has to offer. So please go out and watch them because today I'm going to pull up the 4th episode myself and just enjoy what Star Wars means to me. How giant political systems affect all of us on both the large and small scale. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful May the 4th and enjoying Star Wars. I figured I'd do something a little bit different and do something about Star Wars for once instead of normally what I do about Star Trek. But if you like this video and want more discussions of geek culture and how it affects us personally and makes us better humans, please consider giving a subscribe to my channel and giving this video a like. And please, in the comments, let me know what your favorite Star Wars thing is. Is it a movie? Is it a TV show episode? Is it one of the books? Like right now, I'm actually reading Heir to the Empire and loving it and really upset that the sequel Star Wars trilogy didn't didn't go with those books, or at least have some basis on them. But let me know what you think is the best Star Wars thing down in the comments, or let me know what you think of the Siege of Mandalore storyline, and dear God, the Jedi robes just do not want to stay on my head. Also, if you want to help make these videos even better, it would really, really mean a lot to me if you could help me out over on Patreon. As some of you may know, I recently lost my full-time job due to the craziness going on in the world right now, so every little bit really helps me pay the bills and really, really, really is meaningful to me. But regardless if you subscribe, give a like, help me out on Patreon, I'm just glad that you stopped by, and I hope that you know what? I shouldn't do live long and prosper. I hope that the Force is with you. Thank you all of you for watching, and a special thank you to my patrons, including my amazing commander level and above patrons, Miranda Janelle, Ashley Allen, Eli Berg-Moss, Sela Roman, Christina Dalliance, Greg Gillum, Stefan Schuhart, Boyd and Mary Beth Earl, Ish the Mad, Randy Thompson, Mouse Pounder, Wellington Marcus, Lorena Mesa, Alexander Miller, Mari Neckar, Gavin Robinson, Michael Beam, Aaron Brown, Munir Amlani, Maggie Evans, Maeve, Wendizzle Bizzle, Dante St. James, Wayne Twitchell, Patrick Shannon, Din Hagney, Mystic the Monarchete, Bree Beecher, and Polly Mina. All of your support means so much to me right now, so thank you to all of you. Live long and prosper.